In this video, I'm going to explain some of the key differences between Salesforce agents and traditional chatbots. People often think that agents and chatbots are the same because on the surface, both engage in conversational interactions, often via a chat window on a company's website, and both use natural language. They both talk to customers and appear in similar digital spaces, which makes it easy to lump them together as the same thing. However, when it comes to capabilities and the output generated, agents offer much more than chatbots. Before I give a real-world example of both agents and chatbots, let's quickly review each at a high level. Traditional chatbots typically follow a predefined script or a set of rules. They can answer FAQs, help with simple tasks like checking an order status, or can even direct you to the right department. So how do chatbots work? Well, they're rule-based, which means that they operate by following predefined rules or scripts. When a user inputs a query, the chatbot matches it to a specific rule, similar to an if-then statement, and provides a corresponding response. Because they rely on these fixed pathways, their behavior is entirely determined by how well and how broadly their rules have been programmed. Chatbots offer predictable responses. Since chatbots depend on a limited set of scripted paths, they often provide predictable, repetitive answers. Once a user's question matches a predefined pattern, the bot uses a relevant script to reply. This makes them straightforward to manage, but can also make the conversation feel very mechanical or robotic. And lastly, traditional chatbots have limited flexibility. These chatbots have trouble handling questions or requests that fall outside of their scripted flows. If a user asks something unexpected or uses unfamiliar phrasing, the chatbot might not know how to respond or might give an incorrect reply. In other words, they are only as flexible as the underlying rules permit them to be. So as for Salesforce agents, these autonomous agents can understand a goal. For example, you might give an agent a goal to improve customer satisfaction by following up on all new inquiries within 24 hours. The agent would then generate the task to achieve that goal and then act on those tasks, all with minimal human intervention. So how these agents work are they are goal-driven. Unlike traditional chatbots that respond to predetermined triggers, agents start with an overarching goal. For example, increase customer satisfaction. They continuously work towards achieving that goal, which informs their decisions and guides their interactions with the user. Agents have adaptive task creation, which means that they can break down their high-level goals into smaller, more manageable tasks. As they gather new information or encounter new situations, they can adapt by creating, updating, and reprioritizing tasks on the fly. This means that they don't have to solely rely on static rules like chatbots do. Instead, they plan dynamically to meet their objectives. Agents are also perpetually learning. These agents learn from previous interactions and outcomes, refining their understanding of how best to accomplish a task. With each customer query or completed task, they can update their knowledge and strategies. Over time, this learning process makes them more efficient and effective at achieving their goals. And lastly, we have autonomous execution. After creating tasks, Salesforce agents carry them out with minimal human oversight. For example, an agent tasked with following up on new inquiries will independently send reminders, draft responses, or escalate issues to the right person when needed. This autonomy allows businesses to scale customer support efforts without significantly increasing manual workload. So at a high level, here's a quick side-by-side on how the two differ. Chatbots use predefined conversation paths, they lack human-like interaction, and they struggle with complex queries. Whereas with agents, they adapt using advanced AI, they do respond like real humans, and they deliver personalized experiences. So to demonstrate the difference between the two, I'm going to use a fictional coffee shop as an example called Frank's Coffee Shop. I know, original. So for this example, let's say that the coffee shop uses a chatbot on its website to respond to customers. With a chatbot, you build it with limited scripts. You decide exactly which questions it can answer. For example, the coffee shop's hours, location, and menu. So how this works is if the user asks, "What time do you close today?" the cafe chatbot responds, "We close at 5 p.m. today," which is based off of a script that we built. Where chatbots tend to fail is imagine a customer asks the chatbot, "I'd like to plan a corporate coffee tasting for 15 people next Friday. Do you offer on-site brewing and can you send me a cost breakdown?" Because our chatbot wasn't programmed to handle event bookings or cost calculations, it either gives a default "I don't understand" message or directs the customer to call the store. It just doesn't have a path for that scenario because we didn't build it. So now let's look at how an agent would operate in a similar circumstance. So with agents, we start by giving it a goal. Instead of programming every possible question, you give the agent an overarching objective, such as handle all customer inquiries and book coffee events as needed. So how this would work is a customer might ask the chatbot, I'd like to plan a corporate coffee tasting for 15 people next Friday. Can you handle on-site brewing, arrange pastries from a local bakery, and send me a total quote? The cafe agent would listen, aka analyze the customer query, and then create its own task on the fly. For example, it might check the internal calendar for available dates, gather cost info on coffee, barista staff, and equipment rental, contact the local bakery for pastry pricing, and compile and calculate the total quote. How this differs from a traditional chatbot is it feels human-like. Once it has all the details, the agent returns with a seamless, personalized response. An example response would be, "We're available next Friday for a 15-person event. We can bring our own barista station on site, and it looks like pastries from Sweet Street Bakery would be $3 a person. Altogether, your quote is $400. Would you like me to reserve this for you?" Notice that the agent's response didn't rely on a pre-written answer like our chatbot did. It actively pieced together information to address this unique request. So here are just a few reasons of why agents are better than chatbots. First being flexibility. Traditional chatbots have strict question and answer flows, which are great for simple FAQs, whereas autonomous agents have dynamic understanding, which means that they can adapt their response and actions based on the changing context of a situation, continuously learning and adjusting their behavior to new information or environmental factors, rather than relying solely on predefined rules or static knowledge. Agents are also better because of the ease of setup. With traditional chatbots, you manually pre-program each scenario, whereas with autonomous agents, you mainly define the overall goal and link relevant data. There's no need to anticipate every user question. And lastly, agents deliver an overall better customer experience. Traditional chatbots can frustrate users if their questions don't fit the predefined scripts, whereas autonomous agents feel more human and handle unexpected requests intelligently. So in summary, a traditional chatbot is like a basic phone menu. Press 1 for store hours, press 2 for location. They follow predefined roles and fixed response pathways, whereas an agent is more like a real-life personal assistant. You tell it what you need, and it figures out the steps, checks the details, and gives a complete human-like conversational answer, all without requiring you to set up every response in advance. So that's all I have for this video. I hope you found it helpful. Thank you all for watching today, and I'll see you in the next video.